My name is Eric Shabil, and I'm the CEO and founder of Cher. Cher is the first online marketplace making sharing home ownership with friends, family, or anyone simple and easy. We provide the process and tools to be able to co-own homes, whether you want to co-own your primary residence and live there, or if you want to co-own a secondary home. We provide the tools to easily buy that equity and being able to sell that fractional equity on your own terms. So we want to know, first of all, do people even co-own homes together? Do they share home ownership? They absolutely do. Actually, 22% of all loans that were originated last year were with multiple non-related home buyers. So to quantify that a bit more, in LA, San Francisco, New York City, and Seattle, some of those metropolitan areas, there's 650,000 co-owned homes. You're looking at around a $330 billion industry that is now continuing to grow about 1%. And you can see so also by some of the competitive landscapes. As an example, like Picasso is a new competitor here. So we know that home buyers, there are users, they want to co-own homes. They want to co-own homes because it is unaffordable to actually buy a nice home in an affordable area. So how do they do that today? Well, first they have to figure out who to co-own homes with. They incur high closing costs with the lenders. They usually have to seek legal counsel to form special LLCs or TICs. And then, of course, when you do co-own a home, how do you actually sell that fractional equity? So right now we're seeing a lot of co-owners actually who co-own right now multifamilies who are joining Share trying to sell their portion of their ownership without having to do a HELOC or any other type of reverse mortgage. And now for real estate agents, those are really our customers, their pain points are door knocking just sucks. And then the market is completely saturated. In fact, 80% of newly licensed agents actually never even use their license when they actually get it. They just totally drop off because it's so difficult to find clients. So how do you actually increase this massive, largest demographic of millennials and give them the opportunity to buy a home? And that's what we're doing with Share's free marketplace. So Share encompasses some of the social attributes from Zillow, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as we incorporate the MLS data feed. And we provide 100% dedicated support to help you co-own homes. So looking at the example, if you want to buy a $3 million home, say in a nice area of Santa Monica, realistically, not many people can afford almost a $13,000 monthly payment for their loans. However, with Share, if you buy that with three others, it's a lot more affordable for $3,200. So going into our solution a bit deeper, here with Share, you can invite friends or family to co-own homes. You can pre-qualify and get pre-approved with our wholesale lenders. We work with Quicken Loans and UWM. You can choose a realtor agent, and then you can sell when you want. We also provide zero closing costs. So on average, you're saving at least $5,000 when you buy a home using Share, and it is for free to use our process. Here are just some of the strategic partnerships we have executed. So Quicken Loans and UWM are right now our current wholesale lenders. We originate those loans and we provide them for the funding. What they do with those, what they're looking at us for is to reduce their risk in their portfolio. So there's a lot of foreclosures going on in COVID, and they're going to use us to mitigate that risk by adding co-owners to those homeowners who are in jeopardy. Our competitive advantage is we are first to market. No one is doing exactly what we're doing. We have over 150 brandable domains, meaning if you type in shared home ownership or anything in that nature, what we're doing in the co-owning space, that'll redirect you towards one thing, and that's our site. We are a licensed real estate brokerage and a licensed mortgage brokerage. With our team, we have over 40 years of combined experience. We have a patent protecting 20 claims with our co-owning process, and Share the name is a registered trademark belonging to us. Our 5-year projection is shown here. Our primary source is from transactional revenue. So when co-owners do buy a home using our process, we charge 25% of the realtor's commission on one side. So on average for a 700K home, we generate around $4,500 per transactions closed. We've generated around $137,000 to date, closing 27 different transactions. And then we have MRR for shares click, which is a feature for realtors to get ahead of the other realtors on our platform, getting better leads and more leads and a credit system. And our future sources of revenue are buying distressed fractional ownership rights, processing fees for collecting those different payments from our co-owners, and assisting those sellers with the sale of their fractional ownership. Our previous investments to date, we've raised $440,000 to date from friends and family. We raised our first institutional money from Mucker Labs. We've built our prototype. We have over 61,000 accounts. We are now in beta. We were accepted across multiple accelerators, and we've converted 10,000 California realtors to actually joining Cher. We've closed 27 homes. We have about 300 plus buyers at the end of the funnel to close those transactions. We've been featured on CBS. We were selected as the National Association of Realtors as a finalist to speak at their summit last year and Startup of the Year finalist. Our full-time Cher team is shown here. I'm the CEO and founder as a licensed real estate broker and mortgage broker over 10 years in the industry. Paul Orr is our COO. He was senior VP of B of A, and he's a GE Six Sigma and as an MBA. We also have an in-house software development team of 6 full-time devs, making us extremely agile and reducing our burn. Why we are pitching today is we're seeking another $250,000 that's left in our round. We've already raised from our follow-on investors. We've received some COVID-19 funds and some funding from Queen City. What that will get us is continued tech, but more importantly, marketing and our sales. We need more sales staff to pick up the phone and onboard those realtors to charge them those monthly recurring revenue. And our goal is to be closing at least 25 co-owned homes per month. And that concludes our presentation, and I think we'd love to get you guys on board. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Eric. Thank you for that. We did run a little bit over, so we're into the feedback time. Not sure if you were able to see Laura's timers there, but Mark, Garth, if you guys want to dive in.
Yeah, I'll dive in real quick. I'll make a couple points. I think the entry into the pitch you need to get a little more sharp, right? Like co-ownership. I think I understand the concept. There was a lot of data up there. I think something a little bit more in line with like there's 650,000 homes that are co-owned, given current transaction levels, so many transactions a year. And then I would have gone maybe at that point to the pain point with realtors. I still, even after the entire pitch, I don't totally follow what the pain point is for the realtor. I mean, I get it. Like, this is kind of a new and emerging and a more important concept in real estate. But I just feel like if you describe co-ownership in homes, said there's a lot of transactions out there for us to go get, we're first in market, and we solve this pain point, that would have kind of gotten me there a lot tighter in 2 minutes, the first couple minutes. I would also move the investor success up front. Like, you've already raised money, you're filling out the round. You got to bring that up front, because it's just going to get me more hooked on the idea. And then, just to focus on a negative point, the competitive advantage slide didn't really feel like a competitive advantage slide. Like, you said something that sounded like competitive advantage, and then you went into like complexity. I started to think like that slide didn't. I'm not even sure it was on there in terms of words, but the way you kind of started verbally, it felt like you pivoted. So I would say that in general, like Garth said this earlier, which is always a good point, there's probably too much on these slides. You're trying to get too many ideas across. You're relying on the slides to kind of guide your narrative, and it comes across in kind of a more broken narrative than it does like a straight line that's getting me to like lock in on whether or not I want to follow up with you. So I'd say like a little bit tighter up front. This is what co-ownership is. There's a pain point, a very tight explanation of why your competitive advantage is, like you're first out there. And then like, we've raised money, boom, you're good. So I'd say go back and rewrite the paper with half the content, and I think you'll have a better shot, and practice it more. I mean, I just say, whether this is your first or your 100th pitch, you're going to have to get a better mastery of the narrative, the flow of the narrative, because it just, again, it felt like you were kind of bobbing and weaving and ducking around the story a little bit, which it just doesn't sing and resonate as hard when you're in that mode. So that's how it felt. But yeah, a very cool concept, and the fact that you guys have raised money should really be the real reason for someone to want to follow up here, and it seems like a big market. So cool idea, or product, I should say.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. I I also was confused, and part of it might just be because I just don't know anything about it, and I guess I was having a hard time getting my arms around, like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about a bunch of people living together? And I think when you talked about the okay, people want to buy a home, some unrelated people want to buy a home in Malibu for 3 million bucks. I was waiting for a couple more sentences. I'm like, yeah, tell me what it is and an advantage. When you talked a little bit about the realtors not using their licenses, you completely lost me there. I'm like, I didn't understand how this. So people, they have to use their license to sell like this, or this will bring them back into doing their job. Or I didn't get that. Obviously, what Mark said. It was too much content, but there were definitely some gems in there. But complete news to me that there were, in those three markets alone, there's 650,000 homes that have been bought in this way. I might just say that I might just start with like the Malibu example. Maybe not Malibu because you're like, that just doesn't seem like real life, but maybe Bay Area, people can't afford a house of that much money. And so this is what would lead them to go down this path. And then in fact, 650,000 in just those three markets have already done this. So this is the thing. It's I totally agree with Mark. A barrier to entry, a first mover advantage in things like this it's almost a disadvantage. It's because you got to blaze all the trails, you got to educate all the dummies like me. It's like if you've got a couple of other competitors out there where you can be like, yeah, we're like them, but they've already stepped in a bunch of potholes, and we're not going to do that. We do this better, this better, this better. We're quicker, better, faster, stronger. But yeah, overall, I mean, I found it very interesting, and it's very opportunistic. How you jumped on this, and the success that you've had. Always get that right out in front. Other people are doing this with us, and we are, and we're everybody loves a winner, right? And everybody wants to jump on to your success.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Garth. Thank you, Eric. Great job, Garth. Mark, thanks so much to you guys for being panelists again today and for your feedback and insightful questions to all of the companies. We really appreciate having you guys.